when you go visit that vision, you embody that.
But let's talk about the faith. Do you believe
you are equipped for your assignment? We as Black women tend to be extra superwoman. She did that.
Okay, elevators, this is for you.
If we're not practicing what we preach, listen. After you pray, after you meditate,
take a step?
look at the source.
Yes.
Look at the source of your strength.
Thank you. I believe every day is a great day because this is the day the Lord has made.
Why are we so afraid to use what God has given us? Wow.
It all starts in the mind.
Yes.
That was just a little weird, but don't be tardy for the party. Come on, Nike, just do it.
That's a whole word, Tammy. That's a whole episode.
That's a whole episode.
That's what happens when you just get a clip.
Yeah, so let me say this, guys. Elevators. Well, hello. First of all.
Hello.
But when I tell y'all, if y'all girlfriends are not on this on this episode, you might want to tag somebody and bring them in because we about to go all the way in behind the curtain. Wink, wink.
How far are we going?
Ooh, boo.
Under the covers.
Literally.
Under the covers?
Literally.
Clearly, y'all can see what he's saying.
They made me do it.
Yes. So there are some conversations that probably need to be had, or we need to have, that we don't necessarily have because we're good girls. And I think sometimes we're maybe not equipped or comfortable to have these conversations. So today we are going to talk about what good girls don't talk about. We're talking about sex. So, yeah.
When you say good girl, it makes me think about that song. Who sung that song? Said, I'm a good girl, but I want to be bad for you. You ever heard that?
Mm-mm.
Good girl, but I want to be bad.
Don't know that one, boo.
I'll look it up later.
Okay, probably a millennial. So anyway,
I didn't even entertain it.
sound effects to get y'all started.
That's from the beginning of a song.
Okay, now we're look. Now that we're ready for Zumba. You know what? And what's going on here is this is not an easy topic to talk about. So we're all a little, we're trying to get our footing.
Lightly, right?
Yeah, we're treading lightly.
They tread lightly.
Oh,
But just jump in there.
that's right. So we have a professional right here.
I'm
but
not a professional.
So, yeah, we're going to talk about it a little bit. And I just use sex as the umbrella.
Okay, that's good.
But we're going to, so let me just start by saying, I learned about sex because when I was in school, they didn't talk about sex in school. That was a no-no. So I learned it from my friends. Whatever their misconceptions and misinformation was is how I learned it because my mom gave me and my sister Britannica encyclopedias. And actually, I think it was an encyclopedia set that really was based on like sex and your body and all that stuff. It wasn't just a regular. But yeah, she gave us books to read to learn about it and read this book or look at cartoons. Yeah.
When you said you learned about sex from your friends, I think it was Cardi B. She posted yesterday. I think she was like, the lies when your friend said you gotta have sex for your butt to get bigger. She was like, the lies.
Oh, wow. That's so
But yeah, they used to
funny.
say
When I
that.
was a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
For
Well,
your butt
I was
to be
similar
big.
to Gail. My mother definitely gave us a book, but she was one, again, being a single mom, she was very vocal. And here, my sister and I shine away from conversations. So I guess she said, well, these girls are not going to talk. Let me get them a book. I think it was Where Do I Come From or something. Large book with pictures and everything.
Yes.
Yeah, so that
My
was
mom,
an introduction.
she didn't talk to us about sex. And I remember, of course, you guys have heard me state before, I had a little rebellious spirit.
No.
Yeah.
Not Jazz.
Yes, absolutely, Jazz. But I remember of course, I did something, and she said something, and I just bust out and said, and that's why I'm having sex.
Oh.
I couldn't even believe I said it, but I said
You were a mess.
And I remember her just going to her room like she was in timeout, like, what am I going to do with this child?
She was done with you.
No.
But she never talked to us about sex. And me, kind of like when you was talking the few episodes ago, when you was saying like when people tell you can't do something, like me, my sister was like, don't have sex because it feels like a ton of bricks on you or whatever. And in my mind, I'm a daredevil. I was like, I gotta try it. Like, I gotta try it. Let me feel these bricks.
Where is that brick?
Where is it? Yeah. So, but by my mom not having those type of conversations with me, it made me curious. So I wanted to go try.
Right. Yeah. I think it is one of those topics that's sometimes, for whatever reason, a little challenging, right?
It is
Even though, the Bible talks about when Adam and Eve, they were both naked and unashamed. And then, of course, it talks about the husband and the wife and all of that. But it's still, I don't know. I think, well, of course, we got baby boomers now. Things are definitely more open, right?
Millennials.
I'm always thinking about myself.
She's so conceited.
But yeah, so you guys have access to social media and all, so it's interesting. But
We didn't grow up like that, though.
No, we didn't grow up like that.
Yeah.
But I think because we see so much now with like what is the generation after the millennials?
Is it the X?
Look, they just cutting up these days. So
And
I
social
mean,
media, though, what has social media
Yes.
done, right?
I feel like these times we can afford
Not to talk about
not
it.
talk about sex with our kids.
They gonna learn.
Yeah.
They gonna learn from something. Yeah.
And I be so scared. Like my daughter the other day,
How old is she?
she's 12. She sent me a video. She was like, she's a hustler. She's like, Ma, I need for you to pawn this ring for me. I was like, pawn a ring? I was like, first of all, I don't pawn nothing. And where you get a ring from?
you know
She's
about
like, this
pawning?
boy
I'm
gave me a
still-
ring at school. I said, okay. I was at home. I was at work. I was like, okay, we'll talk about that when we get home. Like, who gave you a ring now?
Yeah. We
Why
have to.
did
We
he
have
give you a
to talk
ring?
about it. Yeah.
So,
And you know what? I think it's even better now, right? When the parents talk to the children as opposed to waiting for their friends or, the school, because your
little
values
late.
and morals may be a little different. How about, we talk about social media, television. Even television, you almost can't get away from it, right?
Oh, no.
So let's talk about it in a positive way, right? God created it. He said, he told Adam and Eve to multiply, be fruitful and multiply, right?
don't be out here multiplying with everybody.
Hey, you know what? So that's why you got to have that conversation. We need to have that conversation.
What's interesting is we do know that we need to have these conversations, but I was so grateful that I had all boys because I felt like now that onus is on their father. He got to have that talk with them. I don't have to talk to them about girls and coochies and all that.
Goodness. Yeah, we still work in progress.
I really think it'll feel uncomfortable, but I think just building that relationship with your children where you can have that ground, okay, let's get serious now. Like, what you out there doing? Like,
Yeah. I think about it. I remember reading somewhere, I'm thinking even probably when I had my child, that was over 30 years ago, but how, like growing up, you come up with little cutesy names for body
Birds
parts.
and the bees.
But now it's like, no, they need to know exactly
real.
what those parts are, so don't start doing
we're
that.
not sugarcoat nothing.
Come on now.
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
So, okay, well.
'Cause I feel like the whole like keeping it like a mystery makes it almost makes it like how we're saying taboo, 'cause it's like I can't really talk about it, but I'm experiencing all these feelings and all these things, and I know what's going on.
Yeah,
I see it on TV. So yeah.
And even beyond talking to your children, I think even I mean, full transparency, right before this, we were talking about it, and it was almost like,
Actually,
I don't want to talk about
Everybody
it.
was cringing.
Everybody was cringing.
It was freaking hilarious, you know.
Talk about full
Except
transparency.
Jessica.
I was voting on another topic.
We're like, who all in favor of talking about?
Yeah.
Here go Tammy. Who wants to talk about
Springboard.
the majority rules? We're talking about.
And you know what? And this is what happens. It's real. It has to happen. And not just that it's real, but then of course I'm starting like, let's come up with some, foundational, let's make it elevating, and we need to talk about it so people can be motivated. But I think, as we said, just the discussion, to be comfortable enough to say this is a part of the humanity.
And it's
Humanity.
Like, why is it so uncomfortable
When
to
it's
talk about
natural.
sex?
When it's
Right,
natural.
if it's so
Here.
natural, if it was Adam and Eve, why do we have a
I
problem?
think it goes back to the original thing is when you make it like that, it creates like a shame almost, sort of like how she was talking about Adam and Eve, like
Right.
how they
Baby,
were
you would not be
ashamed
here
to
if
make
your
it.
mama
Like,
and your daddy wasn't having a little fun.
I think what happened then with Adam and Eve, it created that shame.
That's it. I would agree.
And in church hearing that you should abstain from sex unless you're married.
But going
So-
back, I'm sorry.
So I think a lot of times people who are not married and are having sex and are having a good time feel like I can't really talk about this because I'm not supposed to be doing it.
Right. But I think going back, and I was looking at what Antoinette was saying. Antoinette's perspective, when you say, why is it, that shows you how in the beginning, right, they were naked and not ashamed. So it was comfortable. It was normal.
You think they were having oral sex?
You know what? I think they were
definitely
doing.
think they were.
I think they were
Every
doing
kind of
whatever.
way.
They were naked. Can I say that again?
You can.
They was bucket
So
naked.
it was like they were exploring all parts
and
of the
I'm
body.
sure the sex was probably way better too.
See, look at there.
have
But
all
then
you didn't have
That was
nothing
for-
compared to.
so before the fall, right? Before the sin, then it was a part of the order of God. But then that's when sin enters. And when sin, it comes in with guilt and shame and condemnation. So it's like, exactly why the what do we talk about? What do we just say? That being uncomfortable with it, looking at it as something dirty, because we know whatever God creates is good. So the enemy wants to twist it. And then we're trying to come out of it. You're trying, right, to come out of that because it's real.
And there is a lot of twists to it that is not okay. Like, there's a lot of stuff out there that, that shouldn't be. So I feel like that too creates
That component, yeah.
But it's not okay. It shouldn't be according to who?
Exactly.
According to, what I'm talking about stuff like child.
I thought she was talking about rape
I'm talking
and
about those type of things where
those
it's
things
like,
that are violating your.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
not freedom to have sex outside of marriage.
Not 3 people in the bed.
No, that's
Look at Gail. Gail, what are you over here talking about?
let's say consensual and non-consensual.
And that's all.
'Cause
That's all I was
that
trying to get to.
categorizes it.
But there are some things that I think where Antoinette is saying that we still have to be mindful of. And when you're talking to your children or even just knowing, if you are not comfortable and you are not consenting, then there's a violation.
That's the problem.
There's
Absolutely.
a problem,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
And
There you go.
they need to know what consent is.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do y'all feel like anything goes as long as it is consensual?
I mean, if the two agree.
I'm Jessica on that. If there's anything go, as you said, consensual. So at the end of the day, the two parties agree.
Yeah, but I think at the right age too, the right maturity, because I think you can think it's consensual.
So your maturity, are you mature enough
and
to
we're
even
not
know?
even talking about with substances added. It kind of
Because then you have to think about R. Kelly, Bill Cosby.
Yeah.
No, seriously.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
then you're adding in other factors
Well,
like.
That's a clear violation for me. Yeah, in my mind.
But if it wasn't consensual with options, with things added to it, like
You can say yes, and then but you do have the right to
or you're
say
so
no.
young, you're
You're not even-
enamored by this money, And so, yes, you can do this to me.
You can change. You can change your
And then
answer.
20 years, I'll come after you.
Exactly.
No.
Like if I agree at the beginning of something, then once we get into it, I don't
No,
like
it's
it.
no.
No.
Whenever,
it's no.
whether it's the beginning, the middle, 3/4.
Did you say no? I said no.
Well, going back to Gail's question there, you know, the scripture that a lot of us know, and in our married lives, we use this one from Hebrews chapter 13, verse 4.
Did you just look that up?
Yes, I did.
I'm gonna
Let
say,
marriage-
Why you put her out like that?
I'm just saying. She know the scriptures, but I just don't know if she know where it is.
I did not, but I wanted to make sure I quoted this because sometimes people don't know where that's found. But, you know, as for marriages, we do, you know, stand on let marriage be held in honor among all and let the marriage bed be undefiled. So sex between husbands and wives, yes, it's
What
never.
does undefiled mean? Mind your business.
Ooh.
That was gonna be my next question. Like,
Oh, come on.
It should be honored.
What does that
cherished,
mean?
Enjoyed. Yeah.
Okay.
so do you feel like it's defiled if they want to have a threesome, if they agree?
See, you know,
See, that's not what I thought she was
Undefiled.
saying.
But no, I'm
when she
asking
said
that question.
undefiled. Oh, is that what it means?
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Let's go back here, y'all. They pushing me. Listen. Flawless, pure, right, holy, clean, chaste, unsoiled. I mean, come on.
Subjective.
Yeah. So again, you're going back to the husband and the wife, right? So this is we're talking about in the institution of marriage. So there you go.
So whatever floats your boat.
Be happy.
Do you, boo?
Be happy. Don't
Get down off
worry.
that chandelier before you break my ceiling.
Get that whip out of here.
You still got them chains.
See, y'all know we getting silly, right? We getting silly.
So I gotta bring this up. So
Okay, bring it up.
do you really want me to bring it up?
I want you to look at me when you bring it up.
Let me preface something.
Look over there, Gail.
We're elevating women.
Should I say
Yes, you should say it.
if it's elevating?
So
Look what you got to say.
Ask your question.
I'm gonna help you out. What you got to say?
having a
I'm
conversation.
gonna help y'all out. Let me read your shirt. An elevator is a woman who continually strives to be her best self by building the muscles of her
Muscles.
vagina.
I see that
You know what? Y'all, we can't with these little.
So we was
millennials.
having a conversation and we was talking about, you know, what do they call? What
Tammy said, "Don't do it."
what do they
Go ahead.
call
I can't stop her.
semen?
Jizz.
Nothing.
Nothing.
And Terry said, why do they call it nothing? Why they just don't call it?
I'm not
what you
even going to
said?
have a conversation because you know.
Nut juice.
You know what? Elevators.
Y'all gonna have me work. I'm gonna have to edit this out.
Elevators.
Tammy gonna text me like,
Elevators. Well, listen, elevators. Here, I got it. Here it is.
You better not.
We are being educated. So this is how you're being elevated.
Okay, I like
You like that?